Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Love Lucas, premier independent podcast from the Gato Institute. We'll be talking about taking a look at Canadian international arts, culture, and entertainment to provide you with an unbiased, left-wing perspective. LCG to premier podcast, independent to the Institute Gato, new restaurants, with arts and culture, different from Canadian, international, improve your perspective, impartial to ghost. It's Tuesday, January 3rd. We're back, and I wanted to get that out of the way as quickly as possible because we have a lot to cover this episode.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, do we ever?
I bet we crash and burn around 32 minutes or something like that.
That's okay.
32.
It's just a guess.
We have backup topics if we need to.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
always something in the chamber. But today we are here to engage, hopefully meaningfully, because Chapo Trap House has released their Avatar 2 take.
Our arch nemesis.
Our arch nemesis and hopefully,
Our rivals.
Our rivals. As they are the whale of the Avatar 2 universe, we are the leech that suckles at their fan bases. I don't know.
I think that's kind of generous, even.
Yeah.
Curse those scoundrels. Those ne'er-do-wells.
We are the krill that those non-violent whales genocided in that fucking movie sequence, and it bothered me. Inconsistent. Yeah, anyways, that was a joke. But also, the three of us went to see it. And unlike Will, the main reader of Chapo Trap House, we went to see it sober, the three of us. And so we had to endure it, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure Julian enjoyed it deeply. And I can't get a read on DJ's opinion of the film. But we're here. We're going to slow burn it. I thought we would start with... back to basics. Avatar 1. What did we all feel was like the message of Avatar 1? We all loved Avatar 1, I assume, actually. Let's start there.
Yeah.
You want to go first, Julian? You want rock, paper, scissors for it?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I'll go first. That's probably easier.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I loved it. It's a great movie. I think it really sums up 2009 really nicely. Yeah, it rocked.
All right.
DJ?
Wow. How do I come off the
Yeah, that was
the back of
smoking
that?
hot. Yeah.
I honestly don't remember it that well.
Well,
I'm pretty sure I've only watched it twice, maybe. Definitely saw it the first time in theater. Geez, yeah, that's like almost 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
see,
It was a good film, and for the time, mind-blowing visuals.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think I loved it. I don't think I didn't come out of the theater going, "Wow, this was the film of the decade."
Yeah.
I think there
don't
was.
know if it was the film of the decade, but it was just such an independent experience. You know what I mean? For me, unless you have more to say. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
For me, the film was like the only escape and fantastic reality where you got to pretend to fight back against the vicious neo-corporate empire that was taking over the world. You got to inhabit the mold of Jake Sully and lead this like insurgency with these fantasy natives, right? It was fun, right? And for me, it came out at a time when I was like 14, right? And I had just like started to witness and become aware of things in the world. You know what I mean? Like I remember around that time I stopped believing in God. I had seen someone get their head cut off on the internet somewhere deeply, and I remember reading stats about the deaths in Iraq, and I remember thinking, are we the baddies? That was that kind of time, right? And
Yeah.
Avatar 1 came out just as that, like, and the way it portrays humanity and the way humanity really should be killed for what it does, it was such an escape that you just didn't get anywhere else. You know what I mean? So Avatar 1 for me stood out as like an incredible movie. Like almost in every sequence was it incredible.
It was part of your awakening.
No, not part of my awakening at
Oh.
all. But like just an incredible moment.
Adjacent to it.
Yeah, where I could appreciate it as someone who was awakened. You know what I mean?
Huh. Yeah.
I feel pretty woke as fuck if I'm gonna attempt to claim that fucking mantle, but whatever.
Your that year was the year of your awakening.
I still worship people at that time like Chris Hitchens, right? But like I was on the path to awakening. Like, I have no respect for people like that anymore, and I didn't really understand what Avatar was at the time either, right? I was just a young buck, but it was such a fantastic escape, and such a like. It felt at the time, at least, like such a way that it could be done. You know what I mean? You just go lead this insurgency. I was 14, so like, but,
You were still quite hopeful.
exactly, right? And so now I guess we want to move to Avatar 2, which I thought was, like a very bad movie, but Julian loved it. And so we're gonna butt heads about it over and over again. I've wrote down a bunch of things that the Chapo boys fucking highlighted. First thing
Curse those Chapo boys!
Those fiends.
Their audience is got to be our audience, and so we got to parasite them. It's the only way.
It's a symbiotic relationship. It's healthy, right?
Yeah.
We bring them nothing.
No.
True. We're not helping. Exposure? Hee hee.
Anyways, they all were like really excited about how much money the movie had made, and like for me, obviously the movie was going to make tons of money, right? Like Avatar was like when Star Wars came out in 77. No matter how good Empire Strikes Back was like in theaters, it was going to do the best that year because of how good Star Wars 4 was, right?
Yeah,
like
it had a head start.
Exactly. Everyone had seen it. Everyone was wowed by it. It was all way ahead of its time. Yada yada. It provided an escape where you got to fight back against the injustices of the world. It's actually exactly the same. But
Yeah, when you put it that way.
Empire Strikes Back is a fantastic film, whereas this is 3 films, in my opinion, knitted together kind of sloppily. And but anyways, the point that it's made $2 billion or whatever, it's going to make $2 billion. I don't know how much money it's made. It's not a great point. And the Chapo guys talked about it for 10 minutes out of an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah.
We can beat that.
No. Yeah, we can definitely talk about billions of dollars for 11 minutes.
Yeah,
we're setting money down.
So much money.
Fuck you guys. So and they also did this bit about how like Jake Sully, the main character, how they in this second movie they say they're just showing him in his new avatar life on Pandora, right? And one of the sequences they highlighted was date night, right, where him and his wife were just flying around doing the most like cosmically spectacular things to just go look at, right? And they were like, the whole point of Jake Sully is that he's kind of a moron, right? Like that anyone could be Jake Sully, right? And I just was like, no, you cannot, right? No one can be that guy. He's like a Marine who loses his legs, goes back for more, and then becomes the leader of an insurgency of a native tribe, right? Like by rising up through their ranks of codes of honor and fucking prestige and things like that. It's just like, no, not everyone can do that. In fact, like most, if not all people can do that. Cannot do that. Sorry. But anyways, I found that a shitty talking point.
I think their point there was more that anyone can relate to him, not necessarily that anyone could do that. Because you're right, without any military training, that's not happening.
Yeah, it just feels crazy to me, and it's going to be undercut later when they're talking about the Sigourney Weaver character, right? And how fucking she's AWA Jesus. She's AWA Jesus, and also what's her face, the Swedish environmentalist, Greta Thunberg.
Oh, Thunberg?
Yeah, that's what she reminded me of. She's just kind of autistic. She really loves the environment. She may end up leading a fucking socialist revolt. Like,
have to see if the FBI gets after her.
Yeah, and when Sigourney logs into the internet, she kind of just fucking has an epileptic seizure because of what she has to deal with on there. The AY internet, not the
dial-up.
Yeah, anyways. uh, they they barely commented. Sorry, actually, they did a bunch of minutes on how great the movie was about focusing on teens,
Oh
and
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
at least one third. I'm going to argue one third of the teens focused on in this movie was Sigourney Weaver, but it could be 1/6 if you count the other Chiefs kids. But it's one third in my opinion. One third of these teenagers is 80 years old, and they were like, it was such a great movie about teenagers. What do you got for that, Julian?
No, she's still a teenager.
That's just good acting, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Dude, when they modulated her voice into a memory of her talking to Sigourney Weaver, I was like, oh, that's a lot. That's a lot for me, right? I was like, I was totally in my suspension of disbelief phase. Sigourney Weaver, great actress. She could play a teenager. She's going to play her throughout her whole life, right? She's going to be 40 years old by the time the fifth one comes out or whatever.
Right.
That's a good setup. And then she was talking to herself at 80 years old. I was like, why would you hammer me when I've already given you my hand of friendship, Jim? Right? Anyways, they did 3 minutes about the deceleration scene in the first movie of the film.
So good.
That was really well done. They were right. That I didn't appreciate that as much as I can at the time, and it's because I think I was truly horrified by the flaming of the species. It was terrible. It was beautiful and terrible, like the true nature of the word terrible. When I say like terrifying and fucking spectacular and fantastic and all those things at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really just I don't know that like it really just hammered it home how, hey, here's this family, here's the happy ending, yee, and then the ships just come down and just trash everything. And that was only one ship that they showed, of like the multitude that were landing on the planet.
Yeah, there was like half a dozen maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when the Chapo guys started to mention Hegel first, and I'm going to do an extended bit about why Matt Kreisman needs to chill with the philosophies that aren't there sometimes, but we're going to get there later. They right after the deceleration scene that we all agree was beautiful. Did you want to say things about that, Julian? Should I shut up for a second?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I thought so. There's nothing really to say, right? It was just gorgeous. It was just so well done, right? And like such a vicious image of humanity that they beat like the advanced boarding party, fuck you, we're back, right? Like anyways, they do 7 minutes, the Chapo guys, on the Colonel, I forget his name, Colonel Colonel Quidditch. I'm gonna call him Colonel Quidditch.
Yeah. Colonel Big Bitch.
Yep. Seriously though, who gets fucking ganked by arrows once and goes, well, I just have to make this my life's purpose? I'd immediately be like, well, maybe I should fucking reconsider because I lost a machine gun fight to arrows.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. But anyways, they do the Chapo guys do like 7 minutes on the image of these operators and like how artistic they think it is and how they relate it to how they think Jim Cameron is commenting on the Americanization of native tribes into their military hardware, like Apache helicopters, Tomahawk missiles, things like that. And
okay.
You are right. That's speculative. Sorry, not speculative. That trepidatious tone that you took with that, GJ, is the right tone to take. Because Jim Cameron may be Napoleon of filming. He may be able to do everything at once, but he's not fucking James Joyce, right? He's not he's not leaving tidbits of information that have like 10 layers deep of them for like, I referenced James Joyce there because he's the writer of Ulysses. And when asked about his book one time, he said, there should be enough in there to keep readers occupied forever. And I've read basically everything, right? Like it's not a dab. I've read a lot of shit. Uh-huh. I've refused to read that book because of that line, right? Like anyone who like pretends that they can put that many references in is lying to you and lying to themselves, right? Like, you can't be that deep. Nobody's that deep. James Cameron had maybe 2 or 3 messages here, right? And sure, he was mocking the operators and the operator image of America with the Oakleys that they mentioned a couple times, and I thought that was a great bit. But like, he's not commenting on the Indianization, the nativization of the military slang in the like capital in gestation of the the capitalistic ingestation of the brutal crimes of the past into the brutal crimes of the present, right? He's just not that bright. There's just no way that he did that purposefully, right? It just happened to work that way, and it's pretty cool. But yeah.
No, okay, when you say operators, you're losing me here. What do you mean by that?
Oh, sorry. An operator is a special forces person. It's like those
Oh.
YouTube guys who are in the special forces and they just like do interviews with each other and talk about the war crimes they've committed. It's a real subculture on the internet. You should look into it sometime. It's disgusting. Like, just hundreds of thousands of followers of Americans being like, "You guys are just so great. You guys, so thank you for your service." And it's just these like PTSD ridden fucking like pretty big guys who are obviously still doing juice and who are just talking about the war crimes they've committed. Like, pretty gross.
Hoorah, brother.
Yeah, exactly. You want to talk about the Colonel coming back? I didn't hate so much. A lot of people online said that was a big like, why'd he come back? Fuck him. Like, he's obviously gonna do a face turn. He's obviously gonna come back and be on the good side in the next couple movies. What I found was unacceptable was that the corporation would pay to have memory banks of his fucking gangster crew, right? Like, that he had on Pandora with him when they died. Like, what use are those people really, right? They're just Marines, right? Just get more Marines. Like, it had to be expensive to not only do that to their brains, but then fly that chip back across space to do that.
Yeah.
It seemed like a bad fucking plot point to me. And also, they missed out, I guess, on with the Colonel Quidditch, bringing him back. They missed out on the general being a really good villain. The general sounded like the Chapo Trap House's version of Hillary Clinton. You know, I can't do it. My Hillary Clinton's terrible. But whatever. It's up there. I can't do it that high for that consistent. But she would have been a great enemy because she was just like the banality of evil. She was just like, she was just office. She was just fucking, she was Hillary Clinton. She was like, we can make things better. We're here to do the job. We're in it together, you know? Like,
just because we're on Pandora doesn't mean we have to be blue.
Exactly. Blue and red is just a phrasing. We're here to work together. And sure, there are some folks who are deplorables and beyond helping, but we must all together work for the mission. She would have been an amazing villain. Like, a really good comment on like the liberals' failure to address why Trump came to power in the first place, right?
We might see more of her.
She will be the next villain, but it's too late now, right? Like, by the time the comment comes out, Trump may be president again, for God's sakes. Like,
Yeah, I guess that could happen. Ugh. Tugs at shirt collar.
okay. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that. Yeah, so I just wanted to say again that the fucking Immaculate Conception of Grace and the transferring of the main character from just an everyman Marine who like makes a moral choice to lead an insurgency to the avatar, actually an actual avatar of this god, is it kind of makes the whole fantasy rebellion against the state kind of moot. You know what I mean? It feels moot. Like, what are we? None of us are the avatar of Ewa, right? But we all feel the need to revolt against this capitalist system that is destroying the earth, right? But
Right.
How is that attainable with the message like that? It felt attainable coming out of Avatar 1. It felt like a joke coming out of Avatar 2.
Too much water, maybe?
Yeah, the whole movie's bloated.
Yeah. Yeah, just a lot of water weight.
It did feel a little bloated. There's so many storylines going on. The fucking whales, to me, was like...
Rocks.
Man, it was great, don't get me wrong. It was good having the entire plot line of Free Willy in a movie, but I did, like, come to love the whales, and they were... I don't know, they were just very empathetic beings, and like everything about how they were hunted was so disgusting, right? And like, and for what it offered them in return was such a pittance, right? Like such an unworthy object. Even Hillary Clinton had to be like, "That's fucked up," right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so it's just an inherently greedy thing, and like honestly, I'm not sure if I like it more the fact that they didn't dwell on it at all. Like, yeah, these whales' brains have time juice in them, great, and then they just completely stop talking about it. If like that really reinforces how pathetic it is that they're that invested in it, that it's like, yeah, okay, it's there, let's get it.
Yeah.
Or if that's just, I don't know, is it going to come back?
Oh yeah.
Maybe, should they have talked about it a little bit more? Probably.
The Chapel boys seem to think that the fifth one will end up back on Earth, and so the Na'vi are leading a revolt on back to Earth, and I think they're fucking crazy if they think the CIA was gonna let that happen. But
I mean, that's bonkers. That's a cool idea, but from the second movie, from where we are now, that's a big leap.
That might make it recoverable in my mind, because right now I'm just kind of lost as to the message of Avatar. Avatar 1 had a concise message. Avatar 2 shit all over that message, and like set up maybe some good plots in the future, right? Like the Spider Kid and Colonel Quadrich turning back to the good side, and fucking Avatar Jesus, Awa Jesus, whatever. She could be cool if she dies for like the sins of everybody. I don't know. But,
yeah, she's got martyrdom written all over her.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, she could be Caesar as well. The epilepsy is one of those things, right? Jesus is related with epilepsy in a lot in pop culture, even in the movies about him most recently. I think both of them did had him do a seizure of some kind. But like Caesar also had seizures. It could be like the sign of a generalship. Oh, I hit my headphone. Fuck it. Nah, she's got martyrdom written all over her. You're right. She's dead.
Yep. Unfortunate, but see ya, kid. You had a good run. Gotta wonder which movie it's gonna happen in, though. That'll be exciting.
And then my last gripe about it, and then I'm out of steam, Julian. I told you, like, we're not even at 32 minutes, 24 minutes we're coming up to.
This is you, though. You've been talking for like a solid 15. Julian's got a solid 15-minute rebuttal lined up, right, Julian?
Absolutely.
And then I've got at least 15 minutes of wishy-washy middle ground garbage in me.
Oh,
just kidding.
God.
I've got maybe like 2.
I kept
We can beat a dead horse.
We're
putting
the
mic
that.
to you guys, but I was worried that you guys were just like, nah, nothing to say. I was like, oh,
no,
that's
we want you to
exhaust
delve into your points and then come to a comfortable spot.
No, I wanted to bounce the points back and forth as we came across them in the movie, but
Oh goodness, that's far too chaotic.
Whatever. The last thing I really hated was the Polynesian culture thing. Like they did the tongue out.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
You hate what, Julian? Julian, excuse me. You hate what?
I hate
what?
I hate the Polynesian.
What the frick?
I hated
Jacob, I'm sorry you had to hear that.
I hated the representation of the Polynesian culture with the tongue out thing. Like that means that they're gonna eat their enemies and take their mana, right? Which is pretty cool. But like, they didn't do that. As soon as they won the battle, they fucked off. And in fact, the battle wasn't even won. They kind of just disappeared halfway through the battle. Colonel Quadrich still had the chief's daughter in harm's way, and him and his soldiers of flyfish gator things went away.
Yeah. I thought about
that. For
that.
no reason.
I don't think it's much of a plot hole, really. Like, the battle is effectively over. That ship is sinking. the Sullys and Quatrates are not even visible anymore. Like, that's a battle won, in my
Yeah, but
opinion.
why aren't they staying to eat the mana out of their enemies then?
Because
like
they're not literally Polynesians.
Then why are they sticking their tongue out like that?
It's just a nod.
No, it's a racial fucking flattening. You put your tongue out, you're committing to eating your enemies, in my opinion.
So every time I blow raspberries at somebody, I'm gonna eat them.
Yeah. I didn't see Hannibal Lecter do that once in the whole TV series, so... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like
Like a token gesture.
yes.
Well, it was, though. I think there's nothing wrong with that, necessarily.
I guess.
You know? Like... I don't know.
Last thing, what do we think about these rumors with these Ash people before you guys get to your serious bits? I heard the next movie is going to be with the Fire Navi. Like, how is Avatar the Airbender not just like absolutely livid?
I don't think Nickelodeon has as much punching power as it used to.
They should definitely sue.
I think they tried, didn't they, back at the first one?
Yeah, now they should try again. They got more ammo.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know about that rumor. I'm curious as to where they heard it.
This is the first time I'm hearing of anything, so...
It's only a rumor, from what I've heard, and to me it's one of those just so rumors, right? Like,
Yeah.
no way it's true.
Yeah, I personally hope they don't have to go through all 5 different
Why would he
types
rip
of
off
mana
the thing
from
that
Magic
he's
the
like
Gathering, but
a synonym
do,
with?
then all right.
You know what I mean? Like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do light.
yeah,
I mean,
right?
I guess it's interesting to see how Magic does light, because it has nothing to do with light, but here we are.
Yeah, we can hear you, Jacob. You're present in our office. We can hear you,
Yeah. Despite it all.
but
Despite everything that Charles is trying to thwart us with, we can still hear you.
yeah. Well, it appears he can't hear us. He's making the kind of my headphones aren't working gesture through the plexiglass. So
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Those boys from Right Gaze back at it again.
Again, I know. We gave them
Those no good nicks.
We gave them such strong words in this still.
Yeah, that letter we left them on that really nice stationery.
Yeah.
It was full of so many harsh words and tart reprimands.
Yeah.
Oh. Doth my ears deceive me?
Comrade Jacob.
Could that be Flanagan himself?
All systems repaired. I'm not cropping this.
Well, Julian, I feel like now is as good a time of any to dive right in to your take.
Okay. Well, I was kind of more prepared to lead a conversation on a couple of key phrases that stuck with me during the movie. It says he's now playing Hearts of Iron 4.
He's really sick of us, eh?
Do you get that notification as well?
Yeah, it's coming up. It might be something with his connection. Maybe not so much the audio.
Oh, yeah, like maybe it was running in the background and he reset something.
Yeah, Steam might be restarting due to connectivity issues.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll excuse that. I'll recap these, I guess, when Jacob's able to hear us again. But
sure.
There were a couple of really... I've got 3 on the mind right now. A couple of really prescient lines that like really struck me. They captured the moment perfectly.
I bet Julian's
They
takes
give you
really
something
great.
to relate to perfectly.
If you say one of my most hated lines from that film, I have to admit I'm going to hit you.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, we could talk about why you hate it. Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe.
I'm letting you know that you should prepare a bonk sound bite.
Oh. Yes.
But I'll let you know.
Are you brandishing a baseball bat?
I was thinking of a toy hammer. Maybe sledge? I don't know. I don't want to kill you. I just want to hit you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll yeah, I've got something here.
Take it into consideration. Take it in stride.
Yes. All right. So the first line that really stuck with me, and I'll try to do these in chronological order here, was when, the Sullys are getting to the water people,
right?
And they have to learn their customs,
right?
And the leader, I forget his name, of the water people.
Me too.
Was like, you have to teach them how we do things so that they don't feel the shame of being useless.
Yeah.
Jacob?
What? It's Protestant ethic. It's through everything.
You're back. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you heard everything I said, but I'm just going to go over some of the key phrases and why I think they're great. But that one I love because, not so much for the Protestant work ethic, because, I mean, that is one way to look at it, I suppose. But more, there are so many people today that feel that shame of being useless. Like, disabled people, probably the biggest demographic for that line.
Disabled people aren't useless.
No, but they may feel that shame, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Especially with our culture glorifying work the way it does with the Protestant work ethic.
Right.
But there's also a lot of people that work just shitty jobs, and they know that they're not contributing anything meaningful to society. They sense their own uselessness in that capacity, and it eats them from the inside out. It's a really shitty place to be in.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't see it as that deep a line.
No, I mean, that's fair enough.
I think it was in the Chapo review. I think they referred to it as just like the restart button. You got to learn. You got to do the learning phase again. That was basically it for me.
You got to replay the tutorial.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to do the Ikran sequence from the last movie, only with the fucking dolphin and then with the gatorfish. In fact, while you're doing that, we're gonna redo the actual Ikran sequence with the Colonel and his buddies, like almost a shot-for-shot remake of the Ikran sequence. But anyways,
what is the Ikran sequence?
Where you go up the Hallelujah Mountains, crawl up all those vines, and then take down a fucking pterodactyl and make him your bitch.
Ah, the animal connecting thing.
Yeah.
That definitely had a word, and you're right. It was sort of a ceremony kind of thing. There you go, resident Avatar specialist here.
It's a lore. It's a history. It just sticks on my mind like I can't help it.
It's like a little parasite.
Yeah.
Coming full circle here. So Julian, why did you feel that line was so important?
I felt like Cameron was looking right at the audience there, full of people who, are kind of just watching apocalypse unfold.
Right.
It's looking you right in the eyes and saying, if you feel ashamed, maybe you better start moving your hands and feet and make yourself feel more useful in some capacity.
Maybe that's it.
Okay, and what would that be then? What is he trying to say from that?
Learn to ride a horse and shoot, and so you can be a part of the rebellion. I think that's the answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to vary from person to person. Everybody's going to have their own individual response to that. But I don't know. That was, like I said, these are just a couple of the lines that, really kind of hit me with some extra weight.
Okay, that's valid.
Valid.
Yeah. And I will solicit at the end to see if there's any lines that hit you guys the same way, good or bad.
Sure.
But I'll push through the other two first. Sorry, go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, let's hear line number 2 here.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
The second one that really got me was from Ahab, our whaler guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Ahab. Yeah, we
Pretty
all know
much.
who Ahab is.
Pretty much right when we meet him, he says, "Well, if you can't get out of it, get into it." And I thought, that is the perfect summary of a psychopath in your position. I love that.
Yeah.
This guy realized that he couldn't get away from the horrors of extractive capitalism, so he thought, all right, I'm going to become a captain of a whaling ship and wear crazy shirts as I participate in this destruction. He got into it. He really, really got into it.
He really did. Yeah, there was almost like a character switch got turned on. Like we suddenly need crazy whaler character. Boop.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just some dude, and then they went, no, wait a second, we need you to be nuttier than this.
Yeah.
On every ship, they ape the U-boat dynamic, which is the captain and the chief mechanic, and their their deliberations between each other. And
Right.
the Ahab and the scientist who drank until he was granted the glorious death that he so sought, they were like the perfect capitalist spoof of that interaction, right? Like, well, you can't do that. You can do this, right? Like, the captain was doing whatever he wanted, and for the ruthless pursuit of profit, and basically all the chief mechanic was able to say was, I drink.
Yep. And that was actually the third line that really hit me. Yeah. It's like, oh, like, if you can't get out of it and you can't get into it, then just you pick your poison and cope as hard as you can, as hard as you need to live with the actions that you're taking.
He was one of the most morally reprehensible characters there, right? Like the scientist, because he's woke, he understands. He's not Jake Sully, right? He doesn't say oorah. He can never say oorah. He can't believe it.
Yep.
But he is still doing more than any Marine could ever do for imperialism, right?
Yep.
He's the most morally black character there is.
Yeah, which I loved.
So are we all agree then that the whaling ship crew is just an in for, liberal-minded people as a whole?
Yeah.
I would say so.
Just complacent in the things that are going on, and if they can't get out of it, well, we might as well get into it.
No, it's an actual manifestation of the most horrid liberal industry on earth, which is, the allowance of the Japanese and the Norwegians to whale continuously.
Mm-hmm.
It is horrid. Whales are near intelligence with us, right? In the movie, they're presented as many times more intelligent. It doesn't need to be that way, right? Like, just near intelligence is good enough for me to be disgusted with whaling practices, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, the making of that into the Pandoricization of it is to allow that greater critique of the liberal system at large, which is made manifest through that dual fucking relationship between Ahab and Science Dick.
Yeah, but, that's a very similar dynamic in the first movie where they have Sigourney Weaver doing science bullshit and...
it's more... what's it called? It's more ephemeral there, right? Like, she's like... She doesn't have to see it, right? He's like actively participating in the hunting of this species that he's so fascinated by.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure she watched a couple of Na'vi get gunned down in her schoolhouse, though, didn't she?
Right, the schoolhouse got cut from
which,
the
is
release.
not in the Disney cut. If you watch the Disney cut, you have to go find the director's cut.
The director's cut is incredibly better. There was no director's cut shit like that first one, too. Another gripe I had, that real hard-hitting shit, children fucking getting killed, like the interpretation of Earth that's just like disgusting and metallic and oiled.
Yeah. I have to wonder if that was the edited version that we got, if there's a director's cut coming, or if that was it.
Oh, I hope there's a director's cut, and I hope he puts the guns back in it. I heard he took out 10 minutes of guns because he was so disgusted by the news recently.
I would have enjoyed guns as well.
There was a sequence in the beginning, in the first movie of the film, when they were still forest Na'vi, and there was a sequence where the machine gun laid down suppressing fire into the camera, and it was incredible. It was a delicious movie-going prospect, that fucking 3 seconds of...
Oh, yeah. I don't
Just
know.
from an effects standpoint?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that you're the one being shot, too, I guess. That is a change.
Like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah. No, just a little tidbit. I was hoping to see more sci-fi human technology in this movie, and I was so thrilled. I was not disappointed at all.
The crab mechs, other than that, I thought everything else was fucking meh. Oh, the crab mechs and then the ant droids. Those were pretty cool too.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Great.
Uh-huh.
Love those things.
What would you say your highlight would be, Julian?
For the tech?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, watching the ships come out of orbit and, like, drop stuff on the planet. Love that.
Okay.
Because I wanted to know what they were going to do as, like, their original landing. The whaling ship, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the hydroplane.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking pretty dope.
Yeah, that was excellent.
I thought it was dumb that it flew after it did that amazing hydroplaning, but whatever.
Well, that's
Why
like
would it need to fly if it can hydroplane like that?
It's slightly faster, I think, to do
It's
ground effect.
Barely noticeably faster, I would bet.
Who knows? I'm not.
What
an
if the
engineer.
waters are too choppy?
Yeah,
That's
it
a
could be.
good point.
Yeah.
What if there's a mountain in the way?
You know how much more expensive it would be to make a hydroplaning ship? Like, just so much. Like, forget a ship that's a plane. That sounds expensive. But a hydroplaning ship that's a plane? Jesus Christ, that sounds like such a extravagant waste of money.
Yeah. Something else though.
Yep.
You wouldn't be able to detect it if you're a whale and it's flying.
That's
They're
true.
much harder to detect, at least. But no, other pieces of tech. We get a really nice shot of the base perimeter, Iron Bridge Town or whatever. You see, there's like
Right.
very large guns and a very large wall, and I really hope to see those in action in the next movie.
Autocannons? Fucking
Yes.
fun.
Do you hope to see them crumbling?
Well, I'll leave that up to James Cameron.
I hope to see
Alright.
them firing the Rheinmetall's ahead air defense burst round, which is a tungsten core that spins really fast, and then a bunch of dots that are also tungsten fire off it and make a little conical storm around it with that big tungsten bolt in the middle. My favorite round of ammunition.
That sounds awful.
It does. Just recently invented by the Germans.
Yeah.
Warum?
Was ist los?
Mein Gott.
This is nicht gut.
I read in the news recently that the Germans have no ammunition and it's a big problem. So they were like, well, we just make new ammunition. It is better.
With all that tungsten they've got.
Yes.
That's true. The Swedes have all the tungsten, I think, right?
I don't know. Anyways.
So the third line, Julian, was the one by Mr. Science Man.
Yeah, just the really subtle, that's
Okay.
why I drank.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like,
Okay.
oh man, fucking nail on the head. That's why we all drink, dude. That's perfect.
Well, I mean, we had a couple little drinks on New Year's. We were doing that too.
Loaded on New Year's. That was
We
so
were
much fun.
we were having fun, right?
Yeah, I can't wait till that shirt comes in.
Oh yeah, God, I should have tried harder to stop you. That was such a bad choice.
TKO from Jackbox Games. Go play it and make your own shirts.
Yeah, make them
Shout
good, and then hate all of your friends for voting for the bad shirts.
This episode of Left Look is brought to you by Jackbox Games. Go buy a shirt.
Jackbox.
Sued.
Jackbox Games.
So,
What were you
DJ,
gonna say, Jacob?
where did you actually come down on this movie? Good or bad?
Wait, can I guess?
Me?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, sure, go
DJ
ahead.
registered it as just a movie.
Like a pretty one, yeah.
Yeah, pretty for sure.
Like a really pretty movie. Okay, you know what? Here, I'll do what Julian did, and I'll start with the line that made me really upset. Is when he, honest to goodness, said as an actual line in the film, "Sullies stick together."
Yeah.
I retched in the theater. I rolled my eyes. I wanted to leave at that moment. I'm not gonna lie.
And the people we're fucking commenting on who are commenting on this movie would defend that. They'd be like, that just shows that he's an idiot and how we can all be Jake Sully. And it's like, he's not Jesus, you know? We're not all we're not all special. And why does the special guy have to be a moron?
Yeah, and like, not even that they're a moron, but it's that it's just such an American
Yeah.
action movie line
Yeah.
to I don't know, any nuance, any subtlety Jake had just was ground to a pulp in the first 15 minutes of that film.
Yeah.
Just he became, I gotta be the action hero family man now. That is my trope. I will not have any depth past that.
In the last movie, he was the avatar of Awa, and in this movie, he's just like the avatar of action heroes.
Yeah, and man, I don't know. I give a lot of props to the first movie for having a lot of uh, screen time for somebody who is physically impaired. You know,
Yeah.
like dang, that that's gutsy, and I really love the message that sends out. Like, oh, here's a dude being a hero who's, you know, maybe isn't the same physically as everyone else, but he's still out there doing crazy things. And then, that I don't know, they didn't even touch on it. There wasn't even a throwaway line about like, haha, I love walking. Nothing. Just and maybe I'm being too hard on the first act of the film, but there was such like a crammed in focus on the family that was very just tactless, right? Just shallow. It just left a bad taste in my mouth for the rest of the film.
Uh,
Yeah.
you have
Fair enough.
you have a great line you're gonna follow that up with?
A great line. Oh man.
While you think about that, I'm gonna expose a new plot hole that I thought of while I was thinking about this movie that was not
Sure.
mentioned on the show. We all know who Norm is, if I say Norm.
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
Norm is the geeky scientist from the first one who hates Jake for being such a Chad.
Okay.
He is killed. His avatar is killed in the first one. I don't know if you remember that.
Right. Yeah.
But he just has an avatar in the second one. And I reasoned it away in the theaters. I was like, they could have grown him a new one. But I was rethinking it about it tonight, and they didn't grow one for that scientist man who was there with them. There's two scientists. Sorry, there's a scientist
Max?
in the lab. Yeah, that guy. He never gets an avatar, but they regrew Norman Avatar. He lost an avatar, and he just gets a new one.
They probably had the stem cells on file.
Sus as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but
Like, someone should have been in the consistency booth. Like, Norm's got to be a human, right? Like, he died. You killed him, James.
Yeah.
yeah. Honestly, that was during the whole healing scene, right? That he
No,
just comes in with the avatar body.
yes, yeah. But
And
he's also in the beginning, in the first 10 minutes or so.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I didn't put it together, and I also just went, wait a minute, who are these
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
Like, how did they get here again? Wait, where have they been? What have they been doing? Excuse me? There was just so much air around, like, the things that had happened in the, like, they gave that it's been 1 year thing. And they were just like, okay, there's been a year. Like, everything that happens, it's been a year. That's your explanation. Like, okay,
Well,
all right, it's been a year. I guess in that year, the world exploded and fused back together, and everything's the exact same. But it's been a year.
Yeah.
that was just 1 year
Just
since humans returning, right?
yeah, but there's all this. Where did those people go? There's just all this logic that trickles down from the explanation. The reason is it's been a year.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened in that year? I kind of want to know. I wouldn't mind knowing.
No, I think that year's pretty empty, right? They're leading their insurgent. They're fucking shooting at them from flying.
Okay,
planes.
well,
Why
is it
didn't he
though?
get the-
Because
Go ahead.
when that scene came and they're in the caves, I was so freaking lost. I was like, what happened? The ships why are they in caves?
They're
Why are they
leading
in
an
caves?
insurgency. It's
Well, yeah, that becomes apparent after the fact,
yeah. I thought
but not during the fact. I don't know, man. I was pretty
I thought if
lost.
you
There was a
were-
lot of stuff.
I thought if you were up on your lore that obviously they would hide out in the Hallelujah Mountains because their telemetry and their tracking equipment doesn't work up there. It's from the first movie. I thought that was fine, but yeah, that's something else. Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. For a casual viewer like myself, there was a lot of airspace, and boy, my brain could not fill it. Granted, my brain isn't that powerful, but here we are.
Oh, stop it, you.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Greatest line. The part where the one teenager tricks the other one into making dumb fish noises. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I hated how they all had Zoomer head haircuts. You know, the Gen Z haircuts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was just hair.
That felt a little bit like the indigenous tribes that I'm asking you to rise up with are in fact the inner city peoples that you see around you. It felt a little weird like that. You know what I mean? It felt like James Cameron was being a little racist. And in fact, the whole project felt like an undercut of the first project because of just the way the system is in reality, right? Like, why was Kate Winslet the Avatar fucking other chief's wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that she is a manifestation of the James Cameron film empire. You can make a very persuasive argument that Sigourney Weaver's only there because of similar fucking relations, right? The whole network of people involved, in fact, undercuts the message, the promise, the fantasy that Avatar 1 sells you, which is that you can revolt, you can escape. And there's not. Even James Cameron, the man who can will to power, the Napoleon of film, who knows every layer of how to do everything in a film, even he cannot escape the power structures that define our lives.
Yeah, and also, what the crap? No native actors? That's
no
pretty messed up.
Polynesians. And The Rock Johnson is out there, right? Like, you could have easily got a Polynesian.
God, imagine Dwayne The Rock Johnson in this movie.
Honestly, I would have bought it. I would have bought it.
That would have been much better. I'm on board with that.
No, he comes in and it just does the Maui character from Moana.
Yep.
I'd buy it, honestly. Yeah.
Me too.
I totally would.
And then you watch him spear somebody.
Shiny. Oh, Shiny's my favorite song. From that.
Just, anyways, here's our segue into our Moana review, everyone.
Actually, I was going to jump into a new movie at the end of this, and it's because I saw a movie recently, and it's Matilda on Netflix. Mm-hmm. It was the most subversive, most revolutionary, most liberatory movie I've seen in years. It is, without a doubt, the greatest piece of film I've seen in years. I recommend everyone go watch it. It is a perfect manifestation of Roald Dahl's fucking ability to use fantasy to accentuate his points, right? Mm-hmm. Like, nobody is as smart as Matilda, obviously, right? Nobody can move shit with their minds. It's supposed to be it. But nobody has it as bad as Matilda. And nobody else... and you can do the same things Matilda is doing. Don't trust anybody else. Read your books, you know. Become stronger on your own and try and help others. That it's such a great message. It's so individually liberating, like Avatar 1 was, whereas this feels like a smothering Avatar 2. Like, Jesus might save you, Greta Thunberg might save you, but otherwise shut the fuck up and watch my movie twice or three times. Yeah.
Well, if you say so. Julian, let's go.
Yeah, I'll probably catch up one more time in theaters.
Told you. What's his face? I said Will saw it on shrooms, right? It's just
great
the
idea.
Entertainment of it. Yeah, that's, to me, my favorite film of all time is Lawrence of Arabia, and every time I watch it, I make sure I'm sober as a stone. I fucking love that film.
Sorry, is Matilda the one where the fat kid eats the entire chocolate cake at once?
Yes, sir. That's the 95 version, and it also happens in the new 2022 version. But
oh, I see. It was redone.
Yeah, I was about to ask because I thought you had mentioned it was a sequel, but it is a remake?
Complete remake and musical.
Ooh.
Oh.
How fun.
Whimsical and fun. It is.
Somebody kind of important plays the...
Yeah, Emma Thompson plays
the
principal, and she is the mom from, what's it called? The divorce movie with fucking Lindsay Lohan in it.
Freaky Friday?
No, the divorce one, when she's a kid.
Oh. Of course.
Parent Trap.
Ah.
Anyways, or she's also Professor Trelawney from the Harry Potter series. Emma Thompson.
Oh. The one with the big glasses?
Yes, sir.
Ah, crazy.
She's actually a very storied actress, but she puts on a phenomenal performance. And it is such a comment on our age and the authoritarian age that we are entering that is only going to heighten, and how that you must individually rebel against it, and that, hold out hope, and hope is the candle of humanity. Such a well done, liberating movie, whereas Avatar 2 was a soulless cash grab, and I'm sure there's a AAA game related. It's coming out.
Are you still jaded about that? Come on, man.
Dude,
It's
it
been
was
years.
10 years. I'll never let it go.
All right, that's fair.
All right. We have
I
5
was
minutes.
just about to ask. Oh no, I wasn't about to ask. I was gonna say, yeah, that's great. It's on Netflix because, yeah, Netflix is such a bastion for hope and
Yes.
instilling values that require us to be giving and thoughtful and caring.
There can be art despite the medium, DJ, you fucking cynic.
There absolutely can be. I'm just saying it might not be there for long. So, hop on it while it's good.
I guarantee when you watch it, DJ, that you find it just exhilarating. Like the books that she mentions that she's reading, the way that they present the kids' learning environment, like it's, and the very Roald Dahl aspect of it, that it's like fantastical in the truest sense of that word, like imaginary, dreamlike. You know what I mean? Like
Whimsical.
everything. Exactly. Julian going to check my definitions.
No, who the fuck is Roald Dahl?
Oh, the guy who wrote Willy
The
Wonka
Big Friendly
and the Chocolate-
Giant, and he wrote James and the Giant Peach too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He wrote basically everything that children associate with.
Yeah, like every children novel you read throughout elementary school.
Yeah.
See. Well, I
Famous
won't be watching it.
anti-Semite, I'm pretty sure.
I won't be
too.
watching it because I thought Matilda was stupid. A girl that likes books, don't care. The fat kid eating cake was the only character I related to.
He's a star in this film.
Is he?
His name's Bruce, and he's a kid in a fat suit, and he has his own solo, and then his own solo break dance. He's an incredible little talent, that kid.
All right,
Good on
maybe
him.
then, perhaps.
Yeah. I guarantee you'd love it.
Well, I do remember enjoying the old movie. I almost said the VHS version. The older film.
Yeah, no,
quite fondly.
That was one of my childhood movies. I thought it was incredible. I was very suspicious of this movie, in fact, because I thought that one was so good. It had Danny DeVito in it, for God's sakes.
Yeah, that's hard to beat.
Yeah, and no, this one blows it away, in my opinion.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Instead of Avatar 2,
Matilda 2.
Matilda 2022. And then I don't know, I guess you can go watch Avatar and form your own opinions, but you're not going to do that.
No, they've probably
You
already
listen
seen
to
it. I'm
us.
kidding.
True. They're probably, you better, everyone go to Podbean, type out your
Podbean.
comments on how bad our takes are. Okay, don't forget. Podbean comment section. We're waiting.
Or YouTube, I think.
Oh, YouTube. That's so easy. Okay, on YouTube too. On
Wherever,
YouTube
yeah.
too.
Here's
Wherever you find commenting most.
Here's
Easy.
one more idea to carry us through the final minute.
Okay.
What if we redid Parent Trap, but it's about catching groomers?
Groomer trap?
Well, I'd still call it Parent Trap.
Okay.
Republican Trap.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we don't have to call it Parent Trap.
Well, it doesn't make any sense if it's about groomers. The parent is grooming their child?
Yeah.
That's like worse than Pygmalion.
Who?
Yeah, you should read more.
No.
Would Lindsay Lohan still be in it?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, but CGI'd to be a child. Again.
Oh, I don't like that.
Back to the Mickey Mouse
like
Club
that.
for her.
Oh no, I don't like that. I'm pretty sure the Mickey Mouse Club is all done in like weird, cheap claymation CGI anymore.
Man, the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is like one of the CIA ops. Like, so many fucking vapid, terrible people have come out of that. What's his name? The two brothers who are fighters now, Jake and Logan Paul. Those are veterans of that. Did you know what's his face? The conservative fucking speaker, big guy.
Mitch McConnell?
No, fucking, I'm gonna lose his fucking name. He was the voice of the brain on fucking Arthur. I'm gonna look.
Yeah, I got nothing there.
Joe Rogan?
He's a Joe Rogan-esque but younger guy. I'm gonna look for him. Fuck it, you guys can just wait.
Andrew
for that
Taint?
next week. No,
That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm.
All right. Great week, everybody. Summer is coming.
Yeah, hold out till next episode for that mention. We're gonna find
Crowder.
that PA.
Steven Crowder.
There you go. Good job. You waited for it. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Nice.